first goal, for a goalkeeper, that is a nightmare delivery, coming right across it, in-swinger. Sometimes they go straight in the net without anybody touching it. The goalkeeper doesn't know whether to just keep his eye on the ball or keep his eye on some players coming across the front of him who can get a touch. So he should have parried it away, but I think there's mitigating circumstances. And the second one was one of them in training where it's smashed straight at you, and sometimes 1 in 10 spills out of your hands and the striker's turned it into a goal. Sometimes, if you're lucky as a keeper, you get away with that if no one's following in. But I think he's made worse mistakes than that.
No, I agree. I totally agree with you. And I try to explain that situation that the first goal is. I have over the years many, many times. It's very difficult when the ball's delivered in like that and you got players running across, because you don't know if there's a touch along the way. So you have to wait to see if it's touched or if it's not. I will say on the goal yesterday, he gets two hands to it, and it's not. Sometimes when they go direct, they go in by the back stick. The delivery should always be aiming at the back stick. So if nobody touches it, it's there. But yesterday it didn't. It was like in the middle of the goal. I just felt that he should have done a little bit better with that. It is a really difficult situation. You can rewind, half a minute. Why is Mazraoui even giving a foul away? Little stupid things in games that you need to stop doing all that, and that's what I mean. It's really difficult for me to lay this all on one player. It's the way the team is performing, and there's always something happening that isn't right. There's a lot of things going better, as it's becoming clearer to see what Ruben Amorim wants. You have players coming back yesterday. Kobe Mino came back in. Mason Mount is there. Luke Shaw is on the bench. Yep. So things are moving in a better direction, but they still have to do the job on the pitch. And that last goal. Okay, I hopefully it's not going to mean much. Hopefully they're going to take it back to Old Trafford and they're going to do what they did with Real Sociedad, for instance, a convincing win. But it still is something that as a Man United fan, you go from being very happy with being 2-1 up, okay, the last one, come on, just stay solid, and then you're completely deflated when the game's over because they've just conceded in the 94th minute. And you just go, whoa, not again, So, if the miracle happens that we win the Europa League and win the Champions League, we will be in a much, much better situation. We will be like with Liverpool now when Salah signed. You talked about Liverpool being able to attract better players. For sure, Man United will also be in a position to attract better players if they qualify for the Champions League. And of course, that will help enormously for the recovery of the club.
Pete, you know what you're saying about the goalkeeper there? If you count the amount of centre-backs that he's played behind since he's been at the club, and the keepers before him, and then you go to Liverpool and think about the centre-backs they've had in the last 5 years, it's Van Dijk, Canate, Quansah, Gomez, Matip, that's it. Yeah. But Man United I haven't got enough fingers. They must have had about 25, 30 centre-backs. Yeah. So that can't be good for a goalkeeper.
No, it's not good. I felt, when I played, I was so lucky. I felt always playing behind in the beginning, the first many years, behind Brucey and Pally. Always Brucey and Pally. Sometimes they were injured, but they were one playing. It would be 1 or 2 games, but most of the games it'd be them, and they know precisely what I would do, what I would come for crosses, and I knew which ones they would deal with. I knew we had little deals of don't let anybody finish from the central position. If anything, let them go out in a wider sort of angle position because it makes it easier for the goalkeeper. And then let them shoot. Don't spread your legs. Don't let them pass it through your legs. Stuff like that. And those little things is they're being perfecting from game to game to game because you understand each other. Now, when you play with different defenders nearly from game to game, you don't have that. You have to think about everything, and very little is is instinct. And I think because it's so quick and things are happening so fast, you really have to rely on your instincts and how you know people. And of course, it's not great for Onana to have played behind so many different defenders. It's not great. It's not great for the defenders to always play with different partners either, because it's a new system as well. They're playing three at the back, and they're still trying to get their heads around that, how that is going to work for them. So if you look to the right or to the left and there's a new guy there every time, that can't be easy.
Pete, I'm running short of time, but I can't let you go. Another one I want to ask you before you go, mate, and thanks very much again for joining us this morning. Eric Cantona accused Sir Jim Ratcliffe of trying to, in his words, open inverted commas, destroy Manchester United, and said the minority owner rejected his offer to help rebuild the club. Might be a bit strong, his words, but what do you think of Eric's comments?
Yeah, maybe a bit strong. I think it's far too early in the INEOS period to even pass comments on anything, because it's been a difficult takeover. The club has not done what we think the club is supposed to do for nearly, well, is it 12 years now?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who has not been doing what you expect people to do in a modern day football club, and they've had to make some really, really tough decisions, and they admit they've made mistakes along the way. That's bound to happen. I think we've got to give them a little bit of time. Got a new, very interesting and very exciting coach in. He's got another transfer window coming up. There's a little bit of money in the kitty. Let's see how it works out. Let's see if everything will change if we're in the Champions League next season. If we can win the Europa League, everything will change. And then let's a couple of years go by, and then we can pass judgment. We've got to be patient in this, because it's a lot of change at one point. So I'm going to sit on the bench, and then you can make a little note, a little diary note, and come back to me in 2 years and say, Pete, you said back in 2025, you said this. Now, what do you think? You can do that in 2027. Now, put it in your diary.
I'll make sure I do that, Pete. I'm going to make sure I do it. Now, listen, you and I have a big couple of weeks coming up. We can't lose. I've been thinking about it. We can't lose. We obviously want the Arsenal and Villa to get through. We're desperate for Villa to turn it over. However, if they don't, mate, the good news is you and I will be making a return to Paris for those prawns.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we will, absolutely, and I can't wait.
Mate, brilliant, mate. It was great company. Really enjoyed your company over lunch, and enjoyed your company even more this morning, pal. Thanks very, very much for joining us. Have a great weekend.
Thanks a lot. Enjoy, and you too. It looks good where you are. Have fun.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous here at Ayr, mate. Thank you very much again.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.